Fox hits a beauty.
Hey, howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast. This is episode 588. The Detroit Lions fly into the bye. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am your dashing host, Chris, and with me is the pump and dump king of crypto, the man with the most embarrassing dick pics on Twitter, Jeff the Riz Risden. Buddy, how's it going? Had a day, did you?
Oh, yeah, that was fun yesterday. I got hacked. It's all better now, thank goodness. It was a nightmare. I do have to give X support credit. They rectified it very easily with somebody like me who is not super tech savvy, and I'm very happy about that. So, but it was
not verified either. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that actually might be happening. Might not be paid for that either. Which is nice. Yeah, so I hope sincerely that nobody bought the crypto that was advertised.
Dude, I made a mint, Mr. Pump and Dump. All right, let's rock with it.
I don't even know what that is. I literally don't know what that is.
It's funny, you know what the dick pics are, though. Let's talk about what we got going on today in the show.
Hey. We all have our types.
Like, look, you took advantage of being hacked. I get it. It's, just pile on with it and blame the hack when you're in there, right? Never waste a good emergency. All right, let's talk about what we got in today's show. The Lions beat the Bucs. We talk a little bit about the Legion of Whom, Alim the Dream, where's the offense, and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Thanks for all the crypto. You ready to go, Riz?
Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Whistler is here. All right.
We're happy.
Yeah.
It's always more fun to do this show coming off of a win. It's just great.
Dude, oh, yeah.
It was so nice.
Especially heading into the bye week, right? Can you imagine if they'd had that second loss in a row? And we're now heading into the bye week. I mean, it would have been Tigers revisited going into the All-Star break. You know what I mean? And then panic for weeks, man. Panic for weeks.
Yeah, where they're like the best team, and then they lose like 18 of 20, and everybody's like, oh my God, we got to fire everybody right now.
Well, there's still some thoughts about that, but we'll get to that part. Goff, gotta go. I know we'll get to what's going on with all that very, very shortly, because there is some action going on over there, and how this team can get better, and we'll leave it at that. We'll talk about that because there's opportunities, and it's nice to come out of wins saying we can be better, especially wins against playoff teams, right? Coming out of losses and saying we could be better is a much, much worse position to be in. So we'll take that for now.
That's what among others, D'Amico Ryans in Houston is going through right now. If you watch that game right after that, that's a team that a lot of people thought was going to win at least one playoff game, and now they're going to be very lucky if they win 8 games. So we are not in that status. And I'm glad you brought up that Tampa is a playoff team. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC going into that game.
Yeah,
we're atop some power rankings around the league as the best team in the league.
Yep.
And I just got the general feeling throughout last week that, and this is strictly observational, this is not judgment involved, but a lot of Lions fans don't really take them that seriously because we've beaten them so handily in the postseason, because we've handled their business, and because they've, in general, disappointed in the postseason under the whole regime that they've got there. But every season's different, and that's still a really good football team. I talked about it in the other day in the Slack. When we do the previews for the wire editors at USA Today, we interview one another. I interviewed Andrew Harbaugh, who runs Bucs Wire, by the way. He got to start on Lions Wire. And we both, in our interviews with one another, without knowing it, picked the Lions and the Bucs to meet in the NFC Championship game before the game.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I still feel that
Yeah, no, I do as well. I recall early in the season we talked about this is going to be a team where a lot of other teams come in ranked number one, whether it's number one defense or number one, the power rankings in a lot of places, and the Lions knock them off.
And we did.
We beat the number one team in the NFC that week, and it wasn't pretty. And we did it with a lot of guys who names were relatively unknown and who came out and showed out. And you got to give credit to a lot of Amik has been talking, and he's I'm not putting him in the category of guys who are unknown, right? I mean, he's a guy that we know, right? And yeah, he is someone who talks, but he's come out this year and he's backed it up. His play this year has really, really been strong. The punch in the ball, that's just in a microsecond, a measurement of what he plays like all the time. That confidence, the swag, and the just tight, hard play that you get out of a guy like that. He's got the right mindset. I just really am happy for him, because there was a time, in the beginning of the offseason and in the early part of the offseason where maybe he could have felt a little, he could have been completely different. He could have had a lot of that soul taken away, and he didn't. He stayed with it. He stayed hard. He stayed strong. And here he is, just knocking him dead out there. Good show on him, and that goldfish memory that has to come with that cornerback position. He shows that in spades. He's got it all, man. He's really a good player who has the right mindset for it.
I hope to see more Robertson 21 jerseys out there, because he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's from I think he's from Louisiana. I know he went to college in Louisiana. It's like he is so Detroit without being from Detroit. Yeah. It's pretty cool that he's found his home here. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fantastic. It was a good game. I never felt comfortable in that game. It very easily could have gone another way. It very easily could have been a blowout for the Lions as well, had they been able to execute, but they did execute. They execute for a win. They're the only team this year to hold the Bucs to single digits, which is really good. The Bucs, who have a strong D, anchored in the middle with Vita Vea. We were able to put 24 on them. I believe we scored more. I don't want to say it because I'm not certain. I'm pulling that one partially out of the rear end.
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah. I'm going to speculate that we scored more than any other team or most teams on the Bucs this year. But anyway, it was a good game. Kept everyone on point. Kept you nervous.
We are Seattle hung 35 on them.
There you go.
And the Jets actually scored 27, although one of those was on a kick return. So that was the famous AG going crazy themselves.
Jeff Homan, very correct. It wasn't pretty, but it's what great teams do. They win when they don't play their best.
Yes, they did not play their best, and they still beat the number one seed. I think that's getting lost a little bit. I'm ecstatic with the win, with your entire starting secondary out, with Taylor Decker playing at maybe 75%, maybe. Yeah. Against a really good Packers or Buccaneers defensive front. Like that game, that is a game that a lot of teams are going to lose.
Yeah.
And the Lions, to their credit, were See, I other than when then Tampa cut it, I think it was down to 4. I did not really feel all that stressed throughout the game. I actually started writing the Lions win, and I do a little insert score here in brackets as a note to myself for when I'm done. I started writing that at halftime. Like I was fairly confident about that, just because I knew that the defense, the way that the front was getting so much pressure consistently, and that is one of the things that I also think they're just so good up front, man. Getting Alim back, I know we're going to talk about that, but Hutch commanding 2 dedicated blockers from that offense on 70% of his snaps.
Yeah.
According to the 33rd team. That's unreal. That's beyond Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, name your superstar. That is unreal. And by the way, he still got a crap ton of. I know he didn't get a sack, and there are people that are pillorying him for that. Did y'all not watch what he did? Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. Just unbelievable. Great game by this team. And
I was so happy for Kelvin Shepard in dialing up what he did. For guys like Nick Whiteside and Eric Hallett, guys who, we watch in the offseason, and we know, and they know they're roster bubble candidates when they're in camp.
Yeah.
Whiteside certainly did. I got a chance to talk with him. It wasn't exclusive, but there was like 3 of us that were walking and talking with him off the practice field one day. And he knew. He was hopeful. He's prideful. He's a Detroit guy, Saginaw Valley State. Shout out to the GLIAC. Got a lot of good players in the league this year. He was like, I'm just doing whatever I can, trying to make every positive impression that I can. And they saw enough to keep him around. Look, he's not a rookie. He actually started some games for Washington a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He has rebirthed himself. That's a terrible way to say that. He's rediscovered his ability. He's got fantastic ball skills. He's pretty fast to close. If you remember, he was one of those where everybody, like and to go to the hive mind of training camp when we're all in the meeting together, everybody's like, he's going to make it. Who's not going to make it? And then he had he was bad in a preseason game. I think it was Miami. I don't remember which one. But then everybody's like, okay, he's cut. Like, turned out being right. But like, everybody's like, man, like there's something there. And he proved it. And I love when guys get that opportunity to prove themselves on a stage like that with the stakes that high. That's awesome, man. He is going to remember that for the rest of his life, and his family members who were in the stands. Like that's the one shining moment thing. You hope he gets more.
So that's the last time we've seen him. It's not the last time
he will always have that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
We'll get into that a little bit. But let's go from the win, and let's talk about the Legion of Whom. And that's what a great name, right? And what a great play.
I wish I knew who came up with that. I've adopted it and stolen it. I make sure that I didn't come up with it. But it's awesome because it's perfect.
Let me give you some numbers. Arthur Mollett, Nick Whiteside. I'll throw a Meek in there as well. We can say Hallett and Harper. Harper's really close. We'll keep Harper and Branch together. They all score higher on their overall defense and coverage skills than the starters on this team did so far this year. One game, but it's a full game.
It's one game.
But it's a full game. And it's a game against the number 1 ranked team in the NFC. And I know, hey, PFF this, PFF that, their numbers, whatever. What a statement about the players first and how damn good they are, how devoted they are to their craft, but the coaching that went with it and their ability to play together, man. You have trouble plugging one guy in. When you plug in 4, you start worrying about your communication. You start worrying about a whole lot of things, right? Those guys went out there and they owned that freaking field. What Mollett, the interception, dude, my man. Well, we'll talk. I guess we could have covered that in the part about the game, right? Because
he Chris, I'm a metalhead. He was singing Trivium's "Villainy Thrives" while he ripped that ball out. Props to the 5 of you who are watching who know that song, because it's awesome.
Really, really something, man, to watch these guys all step up as a group. They deserve massive, massive props because, they carry the offense, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but they carried this team. And they ensured that this team could get a win. When coaches giving out game balls, I really think every one of those guys in the secondary should have gotten a game ball. And I'm ready to send some Seatbelt Gang shirts out there to them and to old Jack Campbell. We're gonna bring that brand a little bit. We're gonna change it up a little bit, bring it back, but it's a great shirt, right? It's a great looking shirt. And
I love when he did that. I love when he did that. He needed a good game too, because he did not play well in Kansas City, and he played lights out again against Tampa, and that was nice to see.
Yes,
because he needed that.
Yeah. This Legion of Whom, frigging awesome, man. I don't know. Whiteside, defensive and coverage, he's about an 84 PFF rank. 80 frigging four. Mullet high 60s. Amik mid to high 60s. Let's see, Harper mid to low 70s. I mean, these are great numbers. These are great numbers for guys in the secondary, because it's hard for guys, for safeties and cornerbacks to keep high numbers, especially
when you're giving up completions. That goes against you. And Baker Mayfield did misfire some. I will argue that the pass rush had a lot to do with that.
Yep.
But some of those were, Chris, 12 PDs. 12! They broke up 12 passes. That counts Tyleek Williams. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't Tyleek, who's fantastic at it. It was Alim. Swatting a ball. Loved that.
We'll talk about him.
Welcome
Tyrus
back.
Wheat.
We will get back to that. Tyrus Wheat.
Beating
just
people
1.5
up there.
sacks.
Just really quick, he doesn't have a pass coverage. Tyrus Wheat, 91 on his PFF grade.
Played well. Now, the subcontext, though, Tampa Bay has injuries, too.
Yes.
They're playing their third string right guard, and their number 4 offensive tackle was playing right tackle in that game. So I'm not going to have any sympathy for any other team dealing with injuries after what we've gone through. But the context is a little bit important. Like we said that a lot last year. Like, yeah, sure. Player X had a great game against the Lions, but Jamal Adams is our starting middle linebacker, and he's like out of football 5 days later. Like we did that a lot last year. I think we as Lions fans grasp that pretty nicely. Like, it doesn't matter who's there. And this is where Dan Campbell and the next man up, and the emphasis on having it as he doesn't call it the practice squad. He calls it the veteran squad. There's a reason for that. Yeah. So there's a reason why those guys are so willing to stick it out in Detroit when they very well may have chances to get on other teams. That speaks to Dan's preparation. Dan talked about it in his press conference Tuesday. I have no idea what day of the week it is, but I think it was Tuesday. And he talked about like how the first year they had depth guys that went in and they're like, what do I do? And he's like, we're never doing that again. So they have made an emphasis on it, and it's been a renewed emphasis, reinvigorated emphasis after what happened last year. And they're better for it. Yeah. And it sucks that you have to learn it that way. That sometimes you do have to put your hand in the fire to learn that it's hot.
I'd argue that
it has made this team better.
I haven't seen any team work its way from the depths of the chart like the Detroit Lions have last year and this year. I have never seen a team come out as strong as these Lions have, game after game after game after game, man. And again, good players, great front office, great coaching. Calvin, holy shit, man. I was thinking about it. I'm going to pull out the interview we did with him at Senior Bowl a couple years ago, before he was, anyone even thought about him for defensive coordinator, right? And you're going to see a guy there. He hasn't changed, you know what I mean? Except
he has not changed one bit.
He's bigger now than when he played, I think. He's a big. Have you noticed? Holmes, everybody seems to bulk up around Dan Campbell.
Well, if you happen to see Bruce Gradkowski, like when he's on the sidelines, if you notice him, he's all dark complected quarterback guy.
Yep.
Like he's freaking jacked. Like it feels like the coaching staff is working out with the players and like, well, that's all you got on your bench. Come on.
Yeah, you don't want to get embarrassed by a coach. Come on, you're an active player. No. I'm telling you, I know that that Kelvin is putting up more plates than any of the cornerbacks, any of the secondary.
He's what, like 38? He might not even be that old.
No,
he's still like he's been done playing for like what, 8 years. Let me look him up.
Yeah.
Since I got the reference thing up.
Sure. While you do that, got a question from Don Burr. Chris, will you and Jeff touch on trades? The way these guys are playing, trades might be off the table. I'm going to tell you something. My mind on this. This game saved the Lions cap because they're not freaking out trying to find replacements, knowing next year we go from the second most cap space to like the second least because of all the re-signings we have to do. This performance does so much to take pressure off the Lions cap space and keep the future just as bright as it had been. That's where I think more came out of here than the kind of concept of trades. And if there are trades, we're going to be getting value on these. We're not going to be the ones giving away value to try to patch holes. That's brilliant.
When Dan said we're good about the pass rush earlier this year, I hope people are respecting that now. Now that the Lions have the number one defensive DVOA, they have the number one pass rush win rate, according to ESPN. I don't know what their PFF grade is offhand, but I know it's very good. They do lead the NFL in pressures. They are close to the league. I think they do lead the league in fumbles forced on sacks. I believe that's all Hutch, except for the one that they did get this week, which I think got credited to Muhammad, although Muhammad and Wheat shared the sack. Like, they're getting it done. This team does not lack pass rush, and now that Alim's back, they've got it up the gut, and that was fun. Chris, that was so much fun to watch him work. I know we're not talking about him yet, but you do have now guys that you can rely on in a pinch where you're not calling Jamal Adams' agent and like, hey, get him out of the hot tub. He's got to come start this Sunday.
Yeah. Well, right. And this is Brian Smith here. He's like, wait.
They don't need that.
He's Brian Smith here. He's wait, because one game these guys are locks for the roster. No. You have backups now that you can rely on. You don't have to trade. You don't have to give away value. We've got a bye week. We got time for guys to come back healthy. We have guys we can rely on when things go south with the guys that are our starters. That's what we have. We don't have to freak out. Yeah. That's what that
after the bye. Terrion will be back. Kirby will be back. Branch will be back. We will have Reed, hopefully, the week, Philadelphia week. We should have who's injured on the offense? There's somebody that's missing.
Taylor Decker. Manu.
So the one spot, and I don't know what's going on with Manu, but I have been given mixed signals that he might be done for the year. But nobody's talking even kind of off the record on that, and I have actually pushed.
Let's get that second opinion doctor out there.
Yes, that'd be
Dr.
great.
Campbell.
Yes, the only thing that you could possibly trade for that the Lions need for a playoff run is a better backup offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
All 32 teams need a better backup offensive tackle. That means if there is one that's out there, you're going to get into a bidding war. Are the Lions going to get into a bidding war over any position in the position they're in? Hell no.
They can.
Hell no.
Yep.
Exactly. Because every single penny of that cap that they're not spending this year is going to Aiden Hutchinson, to Brian Branch, to Sam Laporta, to Jahmyr Gibbs, to all those guys who need it. Their plan, they've said this, is rolling the cap over so they can pay more next year.
Yep.
That cap gets moved forward so they're not eating it. It doesn't just go away. It's not that it's not getting used. It's basically a credit card. they're paying forward.
Right, they're prepaying, like it's prepaid.
Yes, prepaid. Yes, it's a prepaid card. Thank you. That's the way to say it.
It's instead of a payday loan, which screws your roster up in the following years. And what this is now preventing us from having to mortgage the future, which then keeps the window open for longer. And that's the ideal space. People talk about windows being open for teams. The way you shut your window is to just jack your cap up when you have to, we're going all in for the win, right? With a wide open window, again, I always use this example because it's so good. The 9-7 Giants winning the Super Bowl. You just got to get into the game, just get into the playoffs, and anything can happen. And I think that's the mindset here. I mean,
didn't they win a Super Bowl against an undefeated team?
Yes, sir. A team that went 18-1, I believe, when it was all said and done.
That's right. You can't win it if you're not in it, but if you're in it, you can win it.
Man. So no, it bodes well for this team anyway. Just major props to that group of men that went out there and did that, man.
Marcus Davenport can be back. The last I saw, actually, let me look this up because I just had a conversation.
Well, you do. I want to talk about the PFF team grades because I've got those right here.
Overall, he could be back for week 11, allegedly.
Overall, PFF team grades here. Overall, the team is 3rd ranked. The offense is 6th. The defense is 2nd. And special teams is 6th. There's where you talk about the team overall on PFF.
Special teams is 6th.
Yeah.
That's pretty good because after week 2, they were
like
30th.
28 something, yeah.
They were bad.
Phipp has had his way with these boys. So
good for him.
Really, really well done. Legion of Whom, love them, came in, played like unexpectedly over the top. When we talked about this game, when everybody talked about this game, it was going to be power offenses, steamrolling defenses, and the offense has to keep the ball away from Baker so that we can score more points and we can win. And it was nothing like that. I did this red stapler guy with I was told there would be a blowout because it was not or a shootout.
I want to give one quick thing. I think Kelvin Shepard learned from the mistake that he made in Kansas City when he had replacement guys in and had them play zone. Mm-hmm. They played straight man all night against Tampa Bay. By the way, who's playing backup receivers, and it sucks that Mike Evans got hurt in the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I love Mike Evans. He is one of my favorite players. I know he doesn't play for Detroit. He's a warrior. He's a great player. It sucks to see him go down. But when you're asking guys who are used to playing man coverage and they're thrust into action, like one of the reasons they're in Detroit is because, you can play press man. You can turn your hips and run with the receiver. You can play with your back to the ball. And they asked them to do that instead of the funky zone that nobody could do. By the way, Jack Campbell has such a bad game in Kansas City. They simplified it to what they had. That's brilliant coaching by
They did play zone a couple of times, and when they did, they got lucky because Baker missed just about every one of those throws when they were in zone. It was
Baker's so cover 2. We all know that it's the Lovie Smith defense. The Tampa 2 is the inverted, but the openings in that are generally pretty effective against Baker Mayfield because he's not going to hit we all know it as a turkey hole from John Gruden. It's behind the cornerback to the outside of the safety. That's like Baker Mayfield's like cold zone. So if you're going to play zone, and that's a very simple one, if you're ever like in a situation where you're like a high school coach and you got to play somebody who's never played before in your secondary, okay, cover 2, like you go, like, you know what this is to do. I'm not going to trust you in man. Cover 2 is like the very, very basic thing. Like you can get somebody who's barely knows how to put their pads on. Like, okay, this is what you do here in cover 2. And after a half, they probably have got it.
Yeah.
But man is man. Like, cover your guy. Stay with him. Okay, I can do that. Whiteside did that. Mullet did that. Amik, very, very good at that. Like that's smart coaching. That's not just Kelvin, but Kelvin deserves a lot of the credit for that. But Deshae Townsend deserves credit. Jim O'Neill deserves credit. Dan Campbell obviously deserves a lot of credit for it. They learned from their mistake a week before. Wonder why they don't lose games consecutively. There's one why. Because they're very good at understanding why they lost. Better than any coaching staff I can recall, quite honestly. And not overreacting, but understanding how to do things with the players that they've got to make it work.
Going back to the Mike Evans thing, he's an easy guy to like, even though he's on the other team. He's scary, but like just what he does around town, around Tampa here, like he's all over, and he's putting real dollars behind helping out the city, a lot like Goff did right when he got to Detroit, and you see him moving around. Yeah. Evans is very much the same kind of guy. Really just does a lot for the local area. Really big-hearted guy. Broke my heart to see him on the field like that. And I really feel bad for a guy like when they get hurt generally, but I genuinely felt like he was, one of my players or one of the Lions going down, because he's just such a wonderful human being and a great player. And it sucks because I have a sense that might be the last play he plays in the NFL potentially. I hope not, but man, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. Just more on him. He's from Galveston, Texas. He was at Texas A&M when I lived down there. I got the opportunity to pick up basketball at a gym with some of his family members, and like they're all good people.
Yeah.
And he has thrown a ton of money into the Galveston and Texas City area too.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of players do that, and you never hear about it. So when we get a chance to talk about that, we will.
Yep. All right, Jeff Merrill hits us with, was Baker inaccurate because of all the pressure or because of the coverage? I have to say, Jeff, thank you so much for setting up the segue for us. But before we segue, we're going to walk through Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Anytime you think you're going to go to Amazon, use that URL, Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. It'll take you right there. You don't have to do anything else, but it just gives a cookie on your browser, lets Amazon know we sent you, and you go do your thing. You don't spend any more. You buy all your stuff at Amazon like you're going to, and they take a little bit of money out of Bezos' pocket. Throw it our way. Help us out. Helps the podcast do what we do. Helps us pay all the bills and keep the lights on and all that kind of stuff. And lets you help the podcast by doing something you were going to do anyway. All you have to do is Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. All right, back to that segue. Alim, the Dream. I have to give this guy, from the first snap on defense, there's no other way to say it except he was fucking shit up in that backfield. My man was wrecking ass everywhere he went. I tweeted it. I was like, holy, I forgot. I know we missed him. I know he's a good player. It's all that stuff's in my head. But seeing him and the difference he made on that field, I forgot. And you can look and say that defense missed Alim McNeill and his play.
Yes.
He was double teamed when Hutch wasn't for part of that game,
yes,
because he was fucking their world up, man. Oh, thank you for coming back, Alim. Thank you for coming back so strong and being you. We talked about it last week, how much we love him, how excited we were to see him. This guy, oh man, what a ride.
He was better than I thought, more impactful than I thought he would be. And because, it's his first game back. He hasn't played, hasn't gone, they don't do a lot of full contact practice. I think they're only allowed 11 throughout the season. So they've probably done 2 or 3 like that. The way that he was snow plowing dudes, man. And Graham Barton, that's a pretty good football player that he's pushing around.
Yep.
This is a first round pick that a lot of Lions fans like, myself included, as a potential successor to Frank Ragnow. And Alim made him look silly, made him look weak.
Yeah.
Just the physical dominance that he has, his blend of quickness and power off the snap. Look, Tyleik Williams is a good football player. He's having a good rookie season.
Oh, yeah.
EJ Reader is a very, very solid veteran. But they can't do that. That makes that line so much better. And what happens? You saw it a lot with Baker, to answer Jeff Merrill's question here, and it is a good question. When AQM or Wheat are on one side and Hutch is on the other, where's Baker going? Well, he can't go forward because Alim's there. So he's got to drift to his right, or he's got to fall back, or he's got to throw it off of his back foot. That's the biggest reason why he was inaccurate. And in going through the tape review today, and I'm not all the way done with it, I got sidetracked on Twitter stuff. I'm just glad that got resolved. But you can see it, like throws that Baker normally hits because he can step into it and because he can see it very well. And I know that there's all the divisiveness about him being short. I will just say he is 2 inches taller and 25 pounds heavier than Bryce Young, and leave it at that. He couldn't get it done because of Alim, and it wasn't like Reeder had some good wins. He got the crap held out of him on one play, where even the Buccaneers fans were like, we might have gotten away with one there.
I just want to say to Jeff's question, was he inaccurate because of pressure? If you saw Baker in the post-game press conference, you see a man with the 1,000-yard PTSD shell shock stare.
Nope.
Nobody expects the Inquisition. Nobody expects the Lions.
The Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects the Lions to be able to contain a mobile quarterback. And what happened to Baker Mayfield is his brain got scrambled, not from a hit, but because all the things he did, or the secondary things he can rely on to get things done, were taken away by the Detroit Lions. They took away his run. I don't have the box score open, but he didn't have many rushing yards, which is odd for him. Baker Mayfield is a guy that will single-handedly win you a game just out of guts,
and he never has designed runs. He's a scrambler.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
We talked about, and everybody talked about in the early season and off season about the defensive line and the weakness, and we got to get an edge. We need somebody offside Hutch. What I saw against this team and how they got some sacks, contained him, kept the pressure on, and took him out of the game, and you don't see this, but basically broke Baker Mayfield after that game, is something to behold. Man, this is really something to look at and to take account of. If this defensive line can continue to play like this year, this team could be unstoppable. Minus the next thing we're going to talk about. Go ahead. I'm looking at the Pro Football Reference for it. This was the first game this season where Baker Mayfield lost more yards on sacks than he had rushing yards. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep. Got to give Barnes some love. Soccer Wizard, yes, Barnes played a hell of a game. Got a ball?
He did.
And deserved it. We got him back, and it was like, where's Barnes, right? Well, we found him. And he found it. He's back in the groove. I think it took a little bit for him to find the old Derek, and I think Derek 2.0 is here right now. And just he was out there whipping ass, and it's like this.
He's making impactful plays.
Yep,
making very impactful plays. Rushing from the edge on run blitzes where he doesn't give up the outside. That's in a nutshell what Kelvin Shepherd wants from his Sam, and he's doing a great job at it.
Yep. What we thought, or what I thought, was we'd see more of a return. I don't know if it would have been, I would have expected it as impactful as Alim was, because Alim just, the dream, just played like otherworldly. But I expected more early out of Derek Barnes, but man, he's definitely stepped into his play and found it. So, and everybody's different when they come back from injury, and Derek's, either way, he's back. He's back. He hasn't lost it. So that's good to see.
Yeah. I just got a really nice text from my son that makes me very, very happy. So I'll be beaming for a little bit.
So with all that, let's see. We got Alim the Dream. Somebody said, Barnes, can we give Barnes some love?
Yeah. All the linebackers. Anzalone didn't have like the eye-popping game. He was never where he wasn't supposed to be. And again, that's important because in Kansas City, he actually was probably the best linebacker in that game, and he was still in places where he shouldn't have been a lot. Much, much cleaner game.
Yeah.
I was so proud of those guys.
Don H., the Lions have a blueprint on how to contain scrambling quarterbacks now. They flipped the script in the last 3 years. Yeah, and you could see it coming together even under AG. That opening game against Kansas City that we played last year, and took away their Super Bowl Sally. That was fantastic. But we've been doing a lot of this contain of these quarterbacks, and this game we saw the whole thing. Highly mobile quarterback contained, pressured, and sacked. That's, I mean, holy cow! That is a completely flipped script.
What do we talk about all off season in shows like 538 through 555? Let's say, if our defense can even be average, we're winning the Super Bowl. Well, right now, last couple of weeks, our defense has been better than our offense.
Well, let's use that as another segue, Paul Blart.
See, I put that on a tee for you, Chris, and you hit it. Thank you.
Not only was your Twitter hacked, so was your mind. That's okay. That was all said with the idea of. Oh, it's not on there. I think I forgot to put that on the tabs. Okay, I won't advance it. I'll just say it. That was all said on the idea of, well, where's the offense? And or that was on the idea. Sorry, I have to fix this. That was on the idea of the offense would be similar. The assumption was the offense would be hitting it just like they did. I mean, you could get someone like Troy Aikman telling you how this is all the skill positions are some of the most talented in the league and all this. I mean, the regard in which this group is held versus the performance we got out of them. Riz, this is not, I think, what anybody expected out of the offense this year after what we saw from them last year. It was
flat, and you and Gray talked about it in the post game. That was great, by the way.
Thank you.
And the some of the players have talked about it. It's been a big topic of conversation, and they're not playing great. And there's any number of reasons why. For me, I think there are two primary factors. Number one, our offensive line is not what it has been over the last few years. And that has impacted Jared Goff's ability to do what he wants to do, specifically down the field.
Yep.
And when John Morton talked to us this summer and said, we're going to attack more down the field, and they did that a lot in preseason. They did a lot in the joint practices. They absolutely eviscerated the Miami Dolphins, who couldn't cover anybody.
Has, basically.
Well, yes.
Come to find out, Mike McDaniel might be an offensive coordinator next year. Or he could be in Thailand. I mean, I hear that's the place to go for former coaches.
Who wears capri pants, man? Come on. You're a grown man. Either wear shorts or culottes or something, or like jodhpurs with like the style or flash or something. Hammer pants. I don't know.
I need a coach in shorts.
Capri pants, those are not good. That's not a good look, dude. It's just not.
I expect Campbell to be out there in shorts. Campbell's the guy that's going to rock fucking cut off jean shorts, man.
Friends don't let friends wear jorts either. But we're not talking about fashion. We're talking about football.
Campbell will rock that, and we'll change the style. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, and like I know there's been a lot about J-Mo's invisible. We're paying him $26 million to be a decoy. Well, no, that's not what's going on. What's going on is that Goff doesn't feel comfortable enough behind the line that's in front of him right now to stand tall and let those deeper plays develop, because he might get hit. Look, Taylor Decker did not have a good game. I applaud him for trying, because he's even as he's still better than Dan Skipper. He's still better than
he was
Devin Cochran. Yeah. And I'm, look, you're never gonna hear me question Taylor Decker's toughness. He's a beast
for an Ohio State guy.
Well. Yes, for a guy with a flower tattoo on his neck, he's Very manly. Honest to God, you know this, Chris. When I in one of the press conferences this summer where he's standing at the podium on the outside, he's standing up against the wall, and I'm like right next to his right arm, and I spent the entire time like staring at the tattoos. He's got incredible artwork. I'm like, I'm not a tattoo guy. Wow. Like there are thousands of dollars on that right arm, and it's really, really well done. But he's not at his best. The interior guys, Ratledge and Mahogany, are good, but they're young.
Ratledge is looking really good, man. I'm really high.
His block on Gibbs' 78-yard run. Oh my god. Russ and I texted one another. Did you see that duo block? Like, it was unreal. He buried his that is exactly what, like, if you ever want to look up what a right guard is supposed to do on a duo block, like when the run is to that's it. That's perfect.
Yep. You can tell his relationship with Panay is and there is no better person to befriend as an offensive lineman and have next to you than a guy like Panay Sewell if you're Ratledge, because you have that top end, right? And now you have a guy that can help you find that, and it's fantastic. Again, a guy who's, as a rookie, he's pushing 70 on his PFF score. That's pretty damn good on playing next to Graham Glasgow.
Graham is showing his age. I will say he's been better than I thought he would be. He's held up better than I thought he would. But he is still a guy that optimally is your sixth lineman. And he's doing a fine job, but all those guys are not perfect. And it's a struggle at times when Vita Vea is going up against you. We all remember he beat the hell out of Frank Ragnow last year. Like tore him up. Probably Frank's worst game. He does that to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I think in the focus has been, with the line being the way it is, for Goff to get the ball out quicker, to rely on the yards after catch, which did not work in Kansas City, but worked beautifully against Tampa when Servassier Dennis is still looking for wherever he's supposed to be on coverage. Levante David, much like Graham Glasgow, formerly a very good player, and Levante was a higher end player, obviously. He's not there anymore. It sucks. Antoine Winfield Jr., great player, didn't have a great game. And one of the things that the Lions figured out was all those god-awful screens and quick passes that did not work against Kansas City and their linebackers and their defensive backs lit the Buccaneers up. They benched Jamel Dean, who's a guy who got a lot of Pro Bowl consideration last year because he can't do that. He can't defend that. So it worked in this one. So I'm not super concerned about, do I think they need to be better? Yes, they do. There are things that they need to sharpen up, and they do need to take more deep shots because they are there. On the one that stood out to me, and I saw it on recommendation from someone today, the pass to Slaw on fourth down. If Goff holds that ball a half second longer, J-Mo is coming across the field. There's nobody on him. Like, they lost J-Mo on that play.
Yeah.
And that's a missed opportunity. And that's not Jameson's fault. That's not the offense's fault. That one's on Goff. But again, because they don't necessarily trust the pass protection the way that they have in past years, and they should have, because it was great. It's not to that level anymore. By the way, the same thing's happening in Philadelphia. And they actually broke character this past weekend and did throw deep, and it worked very well. And I can see the Lions doing the same thing. But before that, Jalen Hurts was getting the ball out super quick because Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are not particularly having great years. And they are great players.
Yeah.
So they have done sort of the same thing, and they broke out of it in their win. And I kind of expect to see that when we come out of the break. We'll see what happens with it. I know that they're going to be looking at, okay, where can we get better? Where can we fine-tune this engine, because right now we've got the chassis of a Corvette, but right now we're kind of going like an underpowered Dodge Challenger, which, by the way, piece of crap car. I don't like that one. Got to drive one as a rental car one time. I'm like, this thing's supposed to be fast. Come on.
Rent-a-cars are only
Why am I getting past a Prius?
Rent-a-cars are only there to help the big three meet their cafe standards. And they put all the low power small engines there so they can meet their cafe. I mean, it's
100% true.
All right, so
bolsters the used car lot too.
I want to just really quick, hey, Ken Francis, our favorite official from the NFL. You see him in some of our opens and stuff. Ken, thank you for stopping.
I haven't seen Ken in a long time. I miss you, my friend.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
He is. Long timer.
Let's see. So the offense is more than going to tweak. There was anger after this win, and it's been building all summer long. We would question Ben a lot, getting in his own head, outthinking himself, that kind of thing, right? But sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone, and sometimes you try to convince yourself something that isn't. We're gonna see a change in this offense, I think, after the bye week. They're the single biggest focus on fixing is this offensive performance, because it's not the only time. There's been a lot of things tried. You can't have a head coach that spends all his time on the offense trying to make up, fill in, and fix stuff. Something's going to have to get shaken up here.
I have suggestions on that front.
Yeah, sure. We'll get into that, but I'm just letting folks know that they know that this is an issue.
Yes,
and this is something that they are taking. They're pissed. There's people, not just JMO. Okay, and I don't want to. Let me put it. I said that my tone of voice wasn't right for that. It's not just JMO that's frustrated right now. There's a lot of people that are frustrated, and a lot of people in the building that are pissed about what's going on and some of the decisions here. I'd expect some things to get cleaned up, we'll say, along the way. It's not satisfactory for anybody how this is working.
Well, so let me. I will ask the obvious question a lot of people are thinking: is this a Anthony Lynn situation, in your opinion?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I have to say, Alim was checked out long before they checked him out. He was just not it. Something wasn't working there with him, and there was times he called guys by position because he didn't remember their names. It was just not working.
With the whole Charlie Casserly thing.
Yeah.
72 from Florida State, 48 from Ohio. I remember him doing that.
Yeah, it is what it is. And look, the thing you like is you have extremely capable people in that building that can fix this. This is not a grasping for straws freak out. This is, as Troy Aikman said, one of the best, if not the best, skill position team in the NFL on offense. We have the things to make it work. We just have to put them things together, and it's less on the players than anybody else. So we'll see. There are problems, like we talk about with the offensive line. It's not as good as it was. There's a lot of things that are hamstringing what we're doing, but what we're trying to do is exposing some of those weak points instead of, I don't want to say covering them up, but covering them up with how we play.
And they still hung. I was happy with that they got some explosive plays, and they did it in a way that attacked Tampa's weaknesses, which was fantastic. Come out of the bye, playing the Minnesota Vikings. What did the Minnesota Vikings do? They blitz the hell out of people. That's what they do.
Yep.
They rely on their defensive backs to make a lot of open field tackles. Where does Amon-Ra shine? Heck, where does JMO shine? He's going to run away from that guy. Where is Sam Laporta at his best? Catching the ball while he's moving, making the first guy miss. This isn't TJ Hawkinson going down
not the hawk
with
flop.
the threat of somebody coming at him. Yeah. God. Good player, not good for this offense.
Evidently not good for the Vikings offense either, because he can't catch the ball. Kelsey would have made that catch.
Yeah, he would have. That's right. He dropped that pass in the end zone. I remember it now. I knew there was something going on with him.
They called Kelsey's a catch and they called Hawks a drop. That's if you walk into the Vikings subreddit and say Kelsey would have made that catch, they will find you. They will hunt you down. Just so you know.
Oh my God, the refs! Can we have a minute about how just poorly officiated in general everything is right now?
I think we have we have a call in. Just hold on, we have a fan who wanted to call in about that.
Fox hits a beauty.
How loud is that compared to the broadcast team?
It's pretty good.
Ford Field. You are
how Troy Aikman tried to play
best.
Jared Goff.
You guys are the best, Ford Field. I have to say, Riz, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that flipped. I think because we know New York's in their ear. We know New York's calling. We talked about it. We had a freak out last week. I talked I had my rant, whatever else. We know they're in their ear. When that happened, on a Monday night national game, the NFL is, oh, hell no. There's way too many examples now that happened. People saw the plays, heard about it. It didn't break nationally like they wanted it to the week before. But then there was the Hawkinson thing. There was all the other crap going on. They're like, we cannot have this. You guys got to shut this crowd down. You've got to stop this now. There is no way. I've seen people say, well, yeah, during a flag or during a challenge flag, they can go ahead and review the play. And this is unheard of. This is basically unheard of. That is a hockey call. That is a makeup call saying we fucked up. That's all that is. Mm-hmm. Woo. The officiating is garbo across the NFL. I know everyone says, oh, well, they're an entertainment company, but gambling's involved. Right? I don't care how you're set up. When you are married to gambling like this is a real problem. And this is a real problem. Sorry, go ahead. I'm done with my rant. I'm not going to. I could go
on that. I know people get hung up on it's an entertainment thing. Like that's for tax purposes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a business description. That's like if they held a church service in Ford Field while it was going on, they'd be religious. Like that. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like all sports are entertainment. It doesn't matter. That's a pointless designation argument thing. That does not get stressed enough. Unfortunately, they're like WWE. No, it's different.
Maybe, maybe. So it is different, and it's not because of that. But the way the officiating is going. Maybe they are, because this is looking pretty bad. This is looking pretty.
They just have so
bad.
The one play that they reviewed and overturned, and then had to review again because they missed another piece of that puzzle. That's where, hey, New York, this is where you talk to them. This is where you have them, like we talked about last week, where the official says. The official review above us, whatever they call it, told us that this is what happened. And who's going to be mad about that? You got the call right. What's wrong with getting the call right?
Well,
they seem averse to that.
So here's where it's really problematic, right? Getting the call right in the Kansas City game required them reviewing something that's not reviewable during a review of something that was not part of the review. And that's the part where
get the Kelsey catch right.
Right.
That's
exactly. And they reviewed it and they called it a catch. They got it wrong. For them to get things wrong that are so obvious on TV, man.
My stress cheap.
And then you got the Kelsey one. So you're saying if you're playing with the rules of what the catch is, and you're saying that Kelsey's was a catch, I'm not shilling for Hawkinson or for the Vikings here, but you've got to say Hawkinson's ball was a catch for consistency.
Certainly more than Kelsey's was.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, I just want to tell you, Ford Field fans, folks, when you're there, and I will be at the Minnesota game. The thing that I think Lions fans need to do is make that a hostile environment for refs and hold them absolutely 100% accountable. The Lions are too good a team not to be on TV, not to be national. Get out there and make it. We're loud. Other teams already know it's a tough place to play. Make it hard on the refs. Call out those absurdities because they have to be afraid. This is what happens in Lambeau Field. It's not a fear thing. Who knows if it's the ghost of Vince Lombardi or whatever, but everyone knows the calls in Lambeau go a certain way. You know what? There's one way to make that happen. Intimidate the shit out of the refs. They just need to think that, holy crap, I might not make it to my car if I fuck up another call. I need to get this right. And I think that's what's going to make fans happy is just being consistently right. Not because when you can't tell how a game is going to be called as a player, you're hamstrung. You don't know how to play the game now. And every game is officiated slightly differently already, which makes it difficult on the players. And it can lead to injury. It can lead to all kinds of problems in the game because people don't know. They don't know how they can hit. They don't know how they can tackle. They don't know what's right, what's wrong. They let up. They get hurt. Just be consistent. That's all people want.
So it was fun watching on Sunday and watching all the other games. There was one game, and it might have been the Sunday night game, where there was just flags everywhere.
Yeah.
And then because our last exposure had been last Sunday night where they didn't call, there were four? I think there were 5 flags thrown in the game. 1 was declined. And both offensive lines were guilty of a very bad endemic holding all night. But it wasn't getting called, so they adjusted the way to and that's okay. On that front, the officiating is. But then the next week, you don't know is this crew, are they going to call it really tight? Clearly not. In this one either. But the next time when we're playing Minnesota, maybe we get one of those crews that's like, oh, your right foot as a wide receiver wasn't close enough to the line when you're the far wide, covering up the tag, illegal, little stupid technicalities like that will get called, and they get ignored
versus heel toe, right? Toes in, but toe heel doesn't count. What? Silliness. Anyway, those are the margins. Those are the edge cases. It's tough, and that's it. Back to the offense and JMO. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on a guy we're not throwing the ball to. That's a lot of schematic problems. That's a lot of, and he has, I think, every right to be frustrated right now with the touches. The other side, though, you can go ahead and bundle up a bunch of dollar bills in your pillow and cry in that, and I think you'll be just fine. Right? There's look, you've got less wear and tear in your body and all that money. That means another really big contract. Let's think about that. But I think the other side of
Chris,
it.
Honest to God, I had not thought of that point. But
if I'm a player his age, that's kind of where my head would be at. If you don't want to use me, that's fine. You're just extending my career because I know I'll get the money again.
Chris, how much fun are we going to have in 2027 if the NFL is still letting us do this show by then? And we're signing Panay and Amon-Ra and maybe Goff again. Oh my God. It's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's
one thing about the offense that I have noticed. The tight ends, specifically Brock Wright, but especially the number 3 dude, Ross Dwelly, are not playing well.
Speaking of, happy Diwali earlier, everybody. Go ahead.
Yes. Enjoy your lights. Blocking wise, Brock Wright is ostensibly your blocking tight end. He's terrible at it so far this year. And that's when Russ and I talk, and we talk a lot in games these days. He's like, "Is he aware that he has to block?" He's like, Russ is a high school football coach, for one of his day jobs. He works a lot. He gets so angry when a blocking tight end misses a block. And that's like that's like his kryptonite, like that sets him off. He's not a Brock Wright fan right now, and I'm not either. And he's been better than Ross Dwelly, who I don't know how he has a job, but it is what it is. They've got to get better, and if you're going to be running, 12 personnel, they have run a lot of 13 personnel. It seems like relative to the rest of the league, like maybe get better guys in there. Maybe lean away from that a little bit less. It's not working. I don't know what the splits are. I haven't studied that yet. That's actually probably a good bi-week project to like look in how they're doing in various formations and out of that. But I want to see more Tesla and less Ross Dwelly. I want to see more JMO and less Brock Wright. I don't think that's crazy.
No, I think, and there's a couple things like there's a JMO reverse. I forget who said it, but it's really smart. There's a JMO reverse that's getting set up by the end around to St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's set up and set up.
Yes.
And even if we never do it, the other teams are thinking that too, and they're all preparing for it. So the second
you're
we throw the
holding
ball
that
over the
safety,
middle,
that extra count, and what happens if he rushes up? Oh, I'll hold it. Laporta runs right past him.
Yep.
Or Khalif runs right past him, or Tesla runs right past him. That's still in the bag. I know people are going on Morton and his sequencing and things like that, but Chris, I remember bitching about Ben Johnson when we loved Ben about those things. Yeah. I think that's a function of having such a fantastic set of skill positions and a pretty good line to let them, when they're not functioning the way that we know that they can, they're not hitting their potential. Who's going to get the blame on it? We blame Ben Johnson a lot.
Yep.
We probably, in retrospect, we probably should blame Dan more because it is very clearly his offense. And now we're blaming John Morton for that too. And he does need to get better. There is no doubt about that. I feel like he doesn't have a great sense of urgency in going for the kill.
Can I say?
And that bugs me.
I'm going to make a comparison here.
All right.
And I think I'm going to be the first, but I think there will be many that follow. Dan Campbell is the new version of Bill Belichick, and that the defense and the offense are based on him. And the guys that are making it happen are good. Don't get me wrong. They're executing him.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't know if I go Belichick because Dan hasn't won.
No, but everything revolves around Belichick. He had coaches come and go, coordinators come and go. It didn't matter, right? Because it was his scheme, his game.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, I get you on that. Yeah.
And we may see.
I do get that. The
other
thing I will say.
Look, I just want to let me get this. Your blocking tight end piece. Rick C. Skip may be our second best blocking tight end. And you're not wrong. I mean, you're laughing, LOL.
You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all. I will say you have gone against Steve Spagnuolo and I forget who Tampa's DC is, but like their entire state, like they are loaded defensively. Like two of the best defensive coaches you've gone against in the last two games. You split those games. I actually think that 24 points against Tampa Bay is pretty good. And yes, they left a lot of meat on the bone, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they did.
But they also did some very nice things in that game. And now you get Brian Flores next. He is very well regarded.
The Lions know him. So, they got him figured out. They believe they've got him figured out. Let's see if they can do it with.
Yes,
I really believe that this is going to be a get right game for that offense. There's a lot going into this right now, and let's also be clear. Flores and company are not having a great time behind Carson Wentz right now.
And he'll be at it again. By the way, they are a last place team.
Yeah.
As loath as we are to say anything positive about Chicago, the Chicago Bears have not lost since the Detroit Lions beat them. That's kind of crazy.
So I want to throw back to Case and say that his prediction is finally coming true. Minnesota is falling off.
Case, if you're watching, we love you.
Yeah,
we miss you very much.
I texted with him recently. He's doing really well. The other piece, Chicago, that's ugly. That will not stand. That can't hold up. I do have to get to this thing in the chat though. This is a big one. Beer worshipping cult. Shit, I got held up in late. Did I miss Risden's Bitcoin advice? You did. Apologies for that. We're up on the gout shout out now. That's coming up, but we'll see if maybe we can do a wrap on the dick pics. Don H.
Never
Campbell.
seen a stripe like that before. That's weird.
Campbell is the reincarnation of John Madden. Woo!
So Madden was another guy who had a lot of lieutenants who became very successful. That's not bad.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
Marty Schottenheimer was
if John Madden and Bill Belichick had a baby, it would be MCDC.
Wow.
I'm in on that.
I'm having a mental picture of that. It's disturbing.
Someone fire up Sora. All right. So where's the offense? It's coming. It is coming.
It's not like it's bad. It can be a lot better. We all know it can be better because we've seen it be better. But this isn't Miami. This isn't Houston. This isn't Cleveland. This isn't Miami. I got to bring that up again because they're so freaking bad. Oh my god!
Man, that thing went south fast, and it's because they went all in on Tua, right? They had every reason to get, and every chance they had every chance to get away from that, and it's kind of set the tone for the team across both sides of the ball.
You get a weak arm quarterback go into Cleveland where it's steady 40-mile-an-hour winds with gusts 265. Let's throw the ball a lot with the weakest arm quarterback. Like, what are you doing? How dumb are you? Like, I can't fathom. The freaking Browns are terrible. They blew them away.
This is awful. It. WMW2 Diamond Hands on Gout Coin. Riz, let's talk about Gout Coin, man. Is this your pump and dump this week? Or are you going to go on to?
I don't know what a pump and dump is. I don't believe in crypto, so like I'm probably the wrong person to ask about that.
We got people out here ready to buy Gout Coin right now, Riz.
Well, I'll sell it. I'll have the finest monkeys create a banana coin.
We should just create a meme coin and be done with it.
Isn't that what an NFT is? Remember those?
Sorta, yeah, sorta. We should. We'll back it with $100. Everybody's will have fractions of a cent, so nobody loses anything of value. But we can all have Gout Coin. Oh man! All right, let's get into the next one. Where's the offense? Where is our sense? Post-game media coverage. I just want to talk about this really quick. I'm not going to go into a long-winded rant or anything about it, but one of the things that came out last week, it's now in the post-game show gotten to where the chat is asking questions, both hilarious and serious, that should be asked in the post-game show. One of the things that the media should have asked about in the post-game media conference was the flag and what happened with that flag. That was one of the most pivotal plays on the field of the day, and not one question was asked. We were more worried about people's feelings, not football. It's frustrating as a fan to see that. We've watched this kind of evolve from the days when people would live tweet the pressers. Like you'd have 12 or 10, 8 people live tweeting the presser. It's like, look, I can watch it on YouTube. Why are you guys, why are you all doing the same thing? You know, you're all followed by the same people. You just fill the timeline with shit I'm watching. Like, what the hell, you know? Not that great, not that valuable. So we've moved on from that, and that was good, right?
Yes, it is.
People asked what we would ask, and in the post game show, Mike and I both gave an example of questions that were valuable and valid and much better about feelings. But I would love people to take a look at the Bucs show, because there's something that they do there that I think could help. I think it could really help. Shingles coin, Shingles doesn't care. What could really help in this space is what they do in Tampa. You step up, You say, I'm Gowdy Risden from the Daily Shingles Wire, and I would like to ask you a football question. The fact that you have to put your name and your organization out first and then ask your question, all of a sudden it takes away a lot of that anonymity. Thank you.
Anonymity.
Yeah. Once you say it wrong, it's hard to say right. Anonymity.
Yes.
Once you take away that, now you're a professional. You're not a shadow in the darkness that people have to figure out your name to figure out how dumb your question was by your voice, right? Now you have there's accountability, and you have to say the organization we're with. So you're laying your credibility on their credibility with a question about how does it feel to score more points than the other team, right? You will fix the problem. You will get better output for the fans. It's fun to laugh at it. And I know people have guys in the media that they like, and they get all. It's like, don't pick on J-Mo. He doesn't know your name. He never will. These guys, they don't know your name. They probably never will either. Although they are more accessible because they're just the nature of the things. But it doesn't matter. You want the best you can for the fans. It's one of the things we've done since the very beginning in this podcast is try to be someone who pushes media to be better. And by calling these things out and pointing them out, everybody can be, there's so many podcasts out there that Lions fans have to choose from, right? We kind of blew a door open and showed people a lot of things, and a lot of it's been copied, and that's fine. That's cool. Everybody does it and kind of tries to twist it their own, and that's great. That's what you want. But you as a fan, have a better landscape. When we started this, I lived in SoCal, and there was nothing. There was Reddit, and we had 6,000 people in the subreddit at the time, right? There was nothing. It was a desert. I mean, the Lions YouTube at that time, I believe, was at like 20,000 followers. It was crazy how bad it was. That big. Oh, yeah. It was bad. The idea is let's make it better for fans. And this is one of the things that we have to bring in is holding them accountable for getting something better. Being in that room has to mean something. We now see all the press conferences. We see them live. Ask better questions, right? That's where you'll differentiate yourself. You'll stand out as a reporter. You'll do a good job. And you know what? If you just sit there and you say, I'm Justin Rogers from the Detroit Football Network to start, and I'm not picking on him. I'm just using him as an example. Everyone knows how we feel about Justin. You've got to kind of plug your brand a little bit there. You know what I mean? And everybody that gets that question on their show is going to have a plug for your outlet there, right? Someone might say, I haven't heard of them. Let me go look them up. This puts the right kind of focus on the right kind of questions and the right kind of people and gets the public and the fans information that they're not getting right now.
I got a couple things on that, Chris. First off, when I covered the Cleveland Browns and I was down, it was the year Freddie Kitchens was coach, so it was in 2019. When the first couple of press conferences that he held, and people didn't generally identify himself, he would ask, who are you asking me this question? I'm Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland.com. Like, everybody should know me. So that's how she is. Like, he did it for everybody. I actually asked a question to him, and I said, I am Jeff Risden from Brownswire. Brownswire at the time. Very jovial, congenial guy, but it was different. When I'm at the combine every year, I'm trying to think of, it's probably between 25 and 33% of guys will identify themselves when they're asking a question, whether it's to the coaches and GMs when they get those days or a prospect, and they will say, this is, I know one guy who did, Chase Goodbread from AL.com, Alabama. He's always around all the Alabama guys. They all know who he is. I know they do. But he still does that every time. Chase Goodbread from AL.com here. Like, let me ask you this question. And there are some reporters, and most of them are older, who do that, like, religiously. And when you said it that way, like, I never really thought about that. I don't think I've done that voluntarily ever. That's something to think about. So that's you might have made me better, Chris. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, Riz. Hopefully it's for everybody. Hopefully everybody gets better. That's because that's what it's about, right? Fans want more and deserve more. And unless you think about and evolve this, I mean, we've got them mic'd up finally. You would think if now they can hear you talking, you want to come up with something good, right? You start putting your name and you start putting your organization in there, you're going to come up with good questions. Otherwise, you're going to get excoriated by fans, right? And you're not going to get questions at that point. You're not going to get to ask them unless you ask good questions. So I just think that makes it better for everybody, gives fans access that they don't have, and makes it mean something that you're actually in the room. Because right now it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. It doesn't provide anything extra for fans that they don't get anyway. So there you go.
I don't know. But for the fact that I love, actually, I will cite Nolan Bianchi from the Detroit News took a shot from the press box of the view from up there. And it's like, okay, does everybody up there have binoculars? Well, the answer to that is most do, yes. Because you can't see. There's not many worse seats in the house than being in the press box at Ford Field. It's not exclusive to it. You are so far up there, and you don't get the benefit of watching the replays by and large because of the delay that goes on with the broadcast. Like, you don't get the chance to see it. The action's happening in front of you again.
Don't forget all the social commentary going on that's not game related too. That's distracting from what's going on. So not only you're not getting all that, there's the conversations.
There's not a lot of that in the press box. There really isn't, in my experience, in any city. Detroit, Houston, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chicago. Otherwise, I've been on all those. There's not a lot of that in games, honestly. That's actually bigger in the college programs. Like when I go scout people,
everybody sits next to their friend and chitter chatters while they're watching. Just
that's much bigger at the college level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that from personal experience, for a lot of experience with that one. But I lost. But like. I like being able to watch the replays. I kind of enjoy. I don't enjoy Jonathan Vilma very much, but like I thought Troy Aikman. I'm not his biggest fan.
Neither am I.
But he did a pretty good job the other night, honestly.
Like 100%, yeah.
Yeah, like I enjoy. Kurt Warner did the game after it. I like Kurt Warner a lot. I thought he did pretty good. He states the obvious well. But we've also been exposed to.
We were talking, and Mrs. DLP said during the game, she goes, "I think Aikman's kind of getting to the I don't give a fuck point now."
Yes, I agree with that.
It's really
he wears it well.
He does. It's way better than the other Aikman. Because I despised his coverage for a long time, but he's really kind of loosened up. I mean, his laugh is actually a little bit infectious when he's genuinely laughing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, this is all right. So, good on him for his evolution that we're seeing here. So,
right.
Anyway, with all that, Riz, we had a show. There is a gout coin. There is already a gout coin. It's a thing. It's trading for 0.00001958 right now. So they're asking if there's maybe a Riz gout coin. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out something. We'll get something out there.
I don't know. When I get hacked again, keep checking for it. As much as I want to credit X's support team, because they did really do a good job. As I'm establishing the two-factor authentication today, I got hacked again. While I'm doing that, I'm like, are you serious? Should be getting something out of that. We'll see.
It looks like you might be getting hacked right now. Let's roll into it. Don't forget the hitting the wrong buttons. That's why. Don't forget about the patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. $5 more a month on that gets you access to the Slack chat. It's got Riz, Ash, Bish Brown, Dr. Liao, me, Gray, the whole crew.
We'll have more Bish and Brown soon on frozen pizza.
Anything you go ahead, Riz. Just your internet's gone. Just sit and smile and look pretty. Anything less is fine. We appreciate that. It does support the show and makes us helps us do the things we're going to do. But it is the 5 or higher. Kind of keeps the quality up in the Slack. Make sure to follow us on the Twitter machine at Jeff Risden, at Giuseppe Risden, and at DET Lions Podcast. DET Lions Podcast. Give us those follows. We'll let you know what's going on with the show. Fun bants, all kinds of stuff going on there, and you can enjoy it. Also, be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com, subscribe to the podcast. Riz is frozen. We can say anything we want here about what happens when you subscribe to the Detroit Lions podcast. We'll just say we'll show up in your box automatically. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, and no game this week. It's the bye week. No problems. We're your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. Thank you all. We'll see you again next week with a whole lot more.